At long last, the Leafs and the Habs have finally started their playoff series. For the first time in 42 years, you've probably heard it all by now. And I don't know why they started so late because I know Vancouver had to finish their games because they were, COVID, whatever. But they were just playing Calgary, who's not a playoff team. So I don't know why the North Division didn't start for so long when the other series have been going since last Saturday. But there's a lot of lead up to this game. Toronto, of course, is heavily favored. Um, and then tonight was just one of those weird games. It started off with Tavares getting knocked out of the game, and it was one of those things where the building is super quiet because he got drilled pretty good and he had to be taken off on a stretcher. So there's the Leafs captain out of the game right away, and it was he was coming out of his own zone, or was he? Yeah, and he got hit by, I don't know, one of the plug defensemen from Montreal. And when he was falling over, Corey Perry was coming out of the zone behind him, and his knee hit Tavares on the head, and he was down for quite a while while they got him off. The good news is, from what I could see, is that Tavares himself kept trying to get himself up off the ice and wanted to get off himself, but they kept saying, no, stay down, So usually when a guy's trying to get up and move around freely, there's no, when you get hit in the head and neck, like that stuff, you always worry about concussion. You always worry about like some sort of paralysis, right? So obviously he's moving around. That's fine. So in my eyes, the main thing right now is he concussed or not? If he is, who knows how long he's going to be out. If he's not, then he'll probably be back sooner rather than later. It's going to be one of those things where he's probably going to have a lot of damage in his head. Who knows, black eyes, whatever, and probably be fitted with one of the bubbles, and so it's going to be a matter of how soon can he be comfortably be able to play with that on, right? So, but that's just me conjecturing, right? So it's to me the main thing is he concussed or not. And he gave the whole thumbs up on the way out and all that shit. Now, in terms of what happened, it happened so fast. I don't want to believe there was any intent from Perry, but if it was most of the other players on the Habs team, I would have said, yeah, it was just an unfortunate accident. With a guy like Corey Perry, over the course of his career, he can be a dirty player, and he can be a subtle dirty player. Kind of like Matthew Tkachuk is a subtle dirty player, like just a little thing to get away with a lot, right, and take a guy out of the game. So I don't want to believe he hit Tavares on purpose, but I'm not ruling it out either just because of his history. So when it happened, he only had a short time to react, and he chose to jump up, and his knee hit Tavares right in the head. So there was other things he could have done. He could have done a spin move to get out. He could have sidestepped, but instead he jumped up, and his knee hit him square in the fucking face, right? So I don't know what to believe, right? It happened so fast. I can't believe he would have done it on purpose. But again, it's a guy like Perry, and I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt just because of stuff like this he's done in the past, right? So I don't know what to believe. But either way, off the next face-off, once everything was taken off on the ice at the stretcher, Foligno didn't give him any choice, and they fought right off the bat, and which I really liked, because to me, when you're going in the playoffs and you're fighting a battle, it doesn't matter the circumstances behind your guy getting hurt. If it's a fucking accident, whatever, who cares? Who did it? Okay, you're going to answer to somebody, right? That's how teams stick up for each other, build character, go into battle for each other, and overall play a better game because they're all in it for each other, right? So I loved seeing Foligno in that fight after, and to be honest, this was the Leafs' game to win. It really took them a while to get back into the game after Tavares was sent off, but in the last 4 minutes of the period, maybe they really started to get, because they controlled the pace at the beginning of the game, and then they fell into that lull, and but got it back near the end of the period. Unfortunately, Montreal was able to score in there and go up 1-0 on kind of an Anderson breakaway goal. And it was too bad because there was a broken stick in the zone, and Campbell went out to scoot it out of the way, and then it was turned over and came right back. So he wasn't quite set. But either way, it was a good shot that went post in or whatever, right? So there's nothing he could have done about that one from close in. So so they went to the break down 1-0. with all that shit that had gone on. And for the rest of the game, they really controlled the pace of the game. Montreal was out shooting them early on, but a couple little flurries of shots they had here or there, but it was still the Leafs controlling the pace, having most of the zone time, and that continued for the rest of the game for the most part. But they just couldn't pull it out. Nylander scored in the second period, about 4-something minutes in. Leafs had it in the zone, worked it around a bit. Riley put a shot on net. Price couldn't control the rebound, and it just kind of dropped right to his right, and Nylander was kind of Johnny on the spot, just tucked it in, and then unfortunately in the third period it was a giveaway when the Leafs were on the power play that resulted in a Paul Byron kind of half break, and Sandin tried to get back and swept the stick to try and get the puck, and ended up making a good defensive play, but Byron was able to go down on his knees and still keep the puck with him, and then he kind of just flicked it over the glove of Campbell as Campbell went for the poke check. So a shorthanded goal that just kind of was like, what the fuck, right? And it was a bizarre game too, with the fact that neither team scored on the power play, and the Leafs took 3 delay of game penalties for shooting the puck out of the rink. Like, fuck. No, they didn't pay the price for it, but it also took them out of the 5-on-5 flow, right? So they had to kill all these penalties. And one of them was Justin Hall swatting the puck out of midair when a Montreal guy tried to clear it. And to me, that's the same as a guy shooting it and it going off a stick and tipping out. That's the same thing, like that's not, you're swinging at it, you're trying to knock it down and it goes out. You're not trying to fucking do that. Like that's just bad luck the way it goes. That should not have been a penalty. Yeah, the Leafs had a lot of good looks. Price had a good game. I mean, that's probably the main reason that Montreal won, was the Leafs couldn't do any power play damage, and Price held them in it when the Leafs were firing good shots, right? So I'm not worried. It sucks that they lost this first game. It sucks that Tavares is going to be out. But I'm not worried. Even without Tavares, the Leafs are still a far superior team. I look at the ice when the Montreal's out there and I see, oh, there's a plug, there's a plug, there's a plug, there's another plug. Montreal should not beat this team. Now, again, this is why they play the games, and I could be eating my words in a week. I'm not eating my words because I truly believe the Leafs should win, and if they don't, whatever. But they are a better team, and they should win. But it's just an unfortunate start to the series. So overall, I felt that the Leafs woke up a bit after Tavares went out. They started playing a bit more physical after that. And there was a lot of like, oh, Montreal's the top hitting team in the league. And it's like, well, there's hits and then there's hits. Like, there's like, oh, I'm going to rub you out against the boards. And it's like, why did you even bother to do that? Like, that did nothing, right? Like, yeah, they had the most hits in the league, but who cares, right? Montreal tried to really play physical with the Leafs tonight, and it was kind of like when Winnipeg did that in the latter stages of the regular season. The Leafs were just like, fuck off, so to me tonight the win came down to Leafs were on their heels a bit after the Tavares thing that took them out of the game, along with those stupid puck over the glass penalties. Price played a really good game, and that was about it. So I fully expect a much different result on Saturday night when they meet again in Toronto, and hopefully that will be the start of Montreal exiting in 5 games. So until then, toodles.